Ever wonder why some people stay calm, disciplined, and unstoppable while others fall apart? They've mastered all 7 dimensions of self-control. Here's how you can too. Self-control isn't about saying no. It's about understanding the 7 forces deep within you. Forces that are always at war. Forces that decide who wins. Your impulses or your purpose. If you're even thinking about clicking away, I want you to pause. Not because this video is important to me, but because it may be one of the most important conversations you have with yourself. Right now, you're choosing whether your actions are guided by unconscious comfort or conscious growth. Leave now, and you stay the same. But if you stay, you'll begin to understand why you sabotage yourself, why you relapse into old habits, why you lose control at the exact moment you most need it. Carl Jung spent his entire life exploring the unconscious terrain behind our everyday choices. He wasn't impressed by appearances. He dove beneath the surface, into dreams, myths, symbols, and shadows. What he discovered was unsettling, even terrifying. You are not a simple individual. You're a complex system of selves. Many voices, urges, instincts, archetypes, and wounds, all living inside one body. At any moment, that system can either be directed toward your higher path or hijacked by your chaos. Jung didn't just want to chart the psyche. He wanted to teach us how to reunify it. And mastering self-control is not repression. It's not rigidity. It's the restoration of sovereignty over yourself. A journey inward where each dimension of control cracks open a deeper layer of your psyche and hands you back the keys to your own destiny. It starts with your impulses. Raw, primitive, loud. That first flicker of desire in your gut that says, eat that, buy that, say it now, leave them, lash out. That's not evil, it's ancient. It's the limbic brain pulsing its signals into your modern world. But you are not required to obey every craving. When the urge appears, when it stings you like fire through the spine, you have a window, just a few seconds to do something remarkable. Pause. In that pause, everything changes. When you can pause, you open the possibility of choice. And in that choice lives freedom. Impulse control is the ability to delay reaction just long enough for consciousness to step in. It's saying, yes, I feel the urge, but I do not bow to it. Jung would argue that every time you resist an unconscious urge, you're summoning the self, the integrated, watchful center that holds the fragments of your psyche together. So the next time you feel that uncontrollable itch, pause. Because it is not a test of discipline, it's an invitation into wholeness. And yet deeper than impulse lies emotion. Because it's not always the appetites that break us, it's the unbearable weight of feeling. Anger that hijacks a conversation you swore you'd handle peacefully. Shame that floods your body like poison when someone rejects you. Grief that paralyzes your will to move. Emotional control is not about suppression, it's alchemy. It's not bottling up storms, but walking through them with presence. Jung said our emotions are not only feelings, they are messages from the unconscious. When you rage, your psyche is screaming, something is being violated. When you collapse into sadness, your soul might be grieving a part of yourself you've long abandoned. Emotional control does not mean becoming cold. It means becoming capable of staying conscious within your own inner storm. To not be swept away blindly is perhaps one of the greatest superpowers of modern man. Because the person who can feel fully and still respond wisely is no longer a slave to circumstance. He is a master of meaning. But let's drop into something subtler. You probably haven't considered that self-control has a physical component, movement. Your body tells on you. When we're anxious, we tap our leg, bite our lip, shake uncontrollably. Your posture, your breath, your stillness or lack of it, they are the physical evidence of your emotional and mental state. Movement control isn't just about sitting quietly. It's about building a deeper command over your body so that it no longer betrays you in moments of pressure. Stand in silence before delivering difficult news, and your body will scream unless you've trained it. Jung believed that the symbolic experience lived in the body just as much as the mind. If your nervous system is hijacked, your body will act independently of your higher will. Can you command poise under fire? Can you choose expansion instead of contraction under stress? Stillness is no longer just calm. Stillness becomes an act of defiance against chaos. Breath becomes sacred. Presence becomes power. The body synchronizes with the mind, and in that harmony, you project authority over both yourself and your environment. Now into the mind. Cognitive control. We assume thinking is conscious. It's not. Your thoughts often erupt from patterns you inherited or absorbed unconsciously. Jung called these clusters complexes. Think of a complex as a virus in your operating system. It produces thoughts like, no one really loves me, I'm a failure, they're all laughing at me, and worse, it convinces you that this is your truth. That thinking didn't originate from soul, it originated from wounds, from past experiences filtered through pain. Cognitive control starts by noticing those thoughts and asking, is this me or is this my programming speaking? Your mind is not a mirror, it's a canvas. If you don't take the brush, someone else and some trauma will paint your future. Cognitive control is the sacred discipline of thought redirection. It's recognizing the lie, interrupting it, and choosing a higher story. Not fake positivity, real authority over your mental narratives. To be able to choose your thoughts consistently is one of the few things that separates the evolved from the enslaved mind. But even if you refine your thoughts, you're still battling your environment's most alluring lie, instant gratification. Modern life seduces us to believe that everything worthwhile must arrive fast. Scroll, swipe, binge, buy, consume now. But growth doesn't obey convenience. Purpose doesn't blossom under urgency. Jung believed that the self, the deep psychological totality, unfolds in stages and with time. Delayed gratification is the patience of the sage. It is restraint in the face of ease. It is the radical discipline to say, I choose long-term freedom over short-term comfort. This is where most people fail. They give up too early, expect healing too fast, validate themselves through speed. Real transformation is slow, quiet, grueling, subtle. You plant seeds and for weeks you see nothing. But if you waited, something holy was happening beneath the soil. Delay is not denial. Delay is the crucible through which character is forged. If you learn to wait, not passively but purposefully, you become untouchable. The world cannot seduce you into distraction when you are in love with the future you are building. And how do you build it? Habit. The invisible skeleton of your life. Each morning routine, each repeated behavior lays emotional bricks beneath your feet. It doesn't matter what you believe. If your habits contradict your hopes, your direction is set by default. Jung would remind us that repetition cements identity faster than belief. You may say, I am disciplined. But if your morning begins in distraction, your actions lead elsewhere. Habit control is not just behavior tech, it's existential architecture. Your habits reflect what you really value. Every time you repeat something, you are rehearsing who you are choosing to become. You want peace? Practice systems that protect it. You want purpose? Build rituals that energize it. The only identity that lasts is one that's practiced daily. Break the pattern, even once, and you awaken the space between your current self and your potential. Fill that space with sacred habit. In time, your identity will no longer be a hope. It will be a witness to your becoming. Still, none of this means a thing unless you can consistently do what isn't easy. Welcome to effortful control, the final gate. This is the plane of gritty, consistent action, of staying in motion when you're exhausted, of being kind when you're irritated, of waking up on day 26 of nobody noticing your work and still showing up like it's day one. Effortful control is not motivated by reward. It's fueled by conviction. It's the refusal to back down from the path you chose, even when every temptation tells you to stop. Jung spoke often of meaning being forged in suffering. This dimension embodies that truth. The emotionless repetition, the silent commitment, the pressure sustained over time, it shapes your soul into steel. Carl Jung wasn't afraid of pain. He saw it as necessary initiation. The path of individuation, he taught, is not warm and comfortable. It is rigorous self-confrontation. And effortful control is the gateway skill that separates those who dream from those who become. When every other part of control collapses, this one keeps you breathing, enduring, carrying forward. But even now, two final concepts shape how all these pieces interact: thought suppression and cognitive reappraisal. And they're more important than you think. Suppression is what most people do, especially men, especially leaders. You feel something and immediately shove it away. Don't think about it. The problem: that repressed thought goes unconscious and becomes more powerful in the dark. Jung warned us time and again. The things we suppress become the very ghosts that haunt us. Every suppressed thought returns disguised as sabotage, extremism, emotional outburst, or projection onto others. You didn't kill the thought. You just let it grow unnoticed. So what's the alternative? Cognitive reappraisal. Reframing, seeing differently. This is not mental gymnastics. It is psychological transmutation. You take the same memory, the same moment, and you change its meaning. You don't avoid it, you understand it. You face the trauma, the insecurity, the pain, and instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What is this inviting me to become?" This is the core of mature consciousness, taking what would have broken you and using it as material for rebirth. You are the author, and when you reappraise, you rewire. Your past no longer defines you. It initiates you. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, some invisible force pulls you backward, back into doubt, old habits, emotional loops? That force has a name. It's the unintegrated self. It's what Jung called the shadow, the hidden, often disowned parts of you that sabotage your own evolution. Most people never even realize it's there. You're not failing because you're weak. You're failing because you're fragmented. And these 7 dimensions are not techniques. They are pathways to reintegration, to remembering your wholeness. Impulse control reclaims your choices. Emotional control reclaims your awareness. Movement control reclaims your body. Cognitive control reclaims your mind. Delayed gratification reclaims your timeline. Habit control reclaims your direction. Effortful control reclaims your will. And cognitive reappraisal, perhaps most powerfully, reclaims your narrative. These are not mild tools. They are the psychological foundation for stepping into a life of sovereignty, not servitude. Because no one is coming to discipline you. No one is going to wake you up early. No one is going to force you to evolve. It's you, alone often. But woven in these 7 pillars is a sacred companionship. Your future self watching you, waiting for you, urging you forward. If you've made it this far, I want to know who truly understood the message. Leave the phrase "control is not suppression, it's unification" in the comments. And let's see how many of you really grasp what it means to master not only your life, but your inner landscape. If this video made you question something, if it made you see things from a different angle, like and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, every time you abandon self-control, you hand over your future to your past. Discipline isn't denial, it's the highest form of self-respect.